Okay, so we have our warp on our loom, we have our base started, we have our Ryan knots, we have our fringe. Let's get started to weave. All right, so I don't think you want to handle all this yarn at the same time. So I'm just gonna measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just to start, and we can add to it later if we want the same color. This is gonna be the base color, and I've chosen this. You can choose whatever color you want. Just something to think about is how your colors interact with each other. So if I used, let's say, these two together, you're not going to see a huge difference. But if I used these two together, there are more opposites on the color spectrum. So the design's going to stand out a little better. All right, so this is our weft. I've put it through my tapestry needle. I'm going to now weave. So we're going to start by going over this warp thread, under, over the third, under the fourth, and so on. So we're covering all of your odd warp threads and going under all of the even ones. And I find it's good to use the tapestry needle at an angle at first just to get through those. And then I switch it to the flat side to pull it through. I think it's easier that way. And again, weave a little bit at the end when you're pulling this through because we need a pigtail. And that's how you start and end any weft. Okay, so I have a little bit at the end. You can see that my weft is going over this left warp thread. And if I left it like that, it's just gonna pull right out. So that's why we're gonna pigtail, and we're gonna take the end and undo that. So we're just gonna take the weft between the first and second so that I'm under those two. And we're just gonna tuck that tail in between the first and second below where our weft is. Like so. So that's a pigtail. We're gonna pull that pigtail down so it locks it into place. Remember to bubble. Take your beater or your fork. And you can hold this side if you want it to stay in place and just pull it down. We're gonna go back the opposite way. So you can see we went under that last warp thread here. Now I'm gonna go over it and under, and you can see that if I pull the Ryan knot too tight, see how they kind of go together a little more? Once we start weaving, it'll start spacing it out correctly, and we wanna kind of keep an eye on that. So I'm just going over all of the even warp threads this time on the way back, under all of the odd. Pulling it through, but remember, don't pull it too hard because we want to hold this on the right side, create that bubble. Then we're going to pack down the weft. By the way, congratulations, you're now officially a weaver. So this time we're going to go back, we're going to go over all of the odd warp threads, under all of the even. We're going to bubble. I'm going to hold this side, or sometimes I push it down with my fingers. And then we're just gonna pack that weft in. And with the acrylic, it doesn't pack as well. Wool is my favorite because it packs super tight. So then we're just gonna go back opposite. So we're going over all of the even warps, under all of the odd. Acrylic is just a little more slippery than wool, so it slides around a little more. Another thing to keep in mind if you want to continue with weaving. All right. So creating a bubble, packing that weft down. Now we're going over all of the odd warp threads under all of the even. Pulling it through. Creating a bubble. Packing it down. And then we go back, opposites. Over all of the evens, under all of the odds. Bubble. And the reason we bubble is because if we didn't, you're not giving yourself enough weft and it's going to start pulling in like this. So if you do see that, that's the reason why. And you need to put more bubbles in there where it's pulling in because it'll give it more weft to go in between all of those warps.